Hello, everybody. Let me turn down my my fan here. How's it going today? Welcome back to another episode of Car Contemplations. And today we are back in this kind of car. Not because I bought a new one or anything, but because my car is broken. Actually, my brakes have gone to shit. I have an appointment on tomorrow is. At the time you're watching this, or later on, at the time you're watching this, I probably already got them fixed. But, yeah, so my back brakes just went to total shit, and I can't drive it. I can drive it, but it's just not safe. So for the time being, whenever I need to go anywhere, I've been using my mom's car. And this car is actually pretty nice. It has a few pretty good features that I'm a big fan of. For instance, I've never seen this before. If you're usually when you use the cruise control and you try to move it up or down on the spectrum there of speed, it only lets you go like one at a time, or maybe two if you do it rapidly. This cruise control goes up 5 at a time, or down 5 at a time. It's very interesting. I've never really heard of that happening before. And I gotta say, it's a nice feature, because whenever, the speed limit goes in increments of 5, as you probably know, or if you're watching this in a different country, I don't know what your speed limits are, but speed limits go in increments of 5, so it's kind of nice just to hit the cruise control once, or twice, depending on what the speed limit is where you're driving, and you don't have to worry about, flicking it 10 or 15 times, depending on what it changes to. So I'm a big fan of that. Another thing I'm a big fan of is, much like my last car, this is just a much bigger car. It's kind of weird. Mom has a pattern of cars. When I was very small, she had, some sort of Toyota. It wasn't a Camry, but it was something like a Camry. And then she gets this big orange. You've seen those orange cars. I think they're Hondas. And it almost, to me at least, it looked kind of like a bus. I used to call it the orange bus. And then she got a smaller car for about a year or two, and then she got this huge Dodge truck. It was a blue truck, and we had that for several years. Actually, we actually drove it down to Nashville one year. That was a lot of fun. But then after that car, she downsized to the car that I'm driving now, which is the Toyota Camry. And now she's gone back up to this big car, which really resembles the old Jenkins-mobile. So she definitely has a pattern with like getting smaller cars than bigger cars, and smaller cars than bigger, and so on. My dad, he's always had small cars. He had a, from what I remember, his car when I was very small was kind of a smaller car as well. And then he got a Toyota Camry. It was a red one. Not the one I have now, but it was a red one. We had 2 Toyota Camrys for the longest time. And then the car that he most recently bought, and the one that he still drives today, is actually a Fiat 500, which is probably the smallest car that we've ever owned. And it's a nice car. I can't get into it. I mean, I can, but it's super cramped in there. I can't get in the back seat to save my life. I have to ride in the front seat. I've driven it a couple of times. It drives pretty well, but all in all, it's not my favorite car that we've ever owned. I'm a big fan of the bigger cars, so I like driving this car. I was talking about features with this. Another thing I really like is the seat settings. It's much like any other car you would drive, where you can push it all the way back or all the way forward or up or down, or however you want. But this is a very nice seat setting. Along with the headrests here, you can like pull it forward so that you can have more cushioning. Oh, and that's something else I'll talk about in a sec. And then you can just put it right back in its normal position. And then of course you can put the seat back, put it forward, not just on the bottom, but like the actual backrest. And that's pretty comfortable. Also heated seats, which, you know, heated seats are a godsend, especially in these colder climates like we live in. And it's very nice. And then the other thing I was going to talk about was this car has quote-unquote safety features. So it'll tell you like if you're doing a lane departure, or if someone's behind you or in front of you or on the side of you or passing you or anything like that. And theoretically it's supposed to like, it's supposed, what's the word I'm looking for? It's supposed to keep you safer. I've noticed a couple of flaws in it though. For instance, the other day I was driving up to see my grandparents who live about an hour away from me. I'm sure I've talked about this before, but as I'm driving along, I'm coming up really close to an intersection where a car is I'm getting close to a off exit, and a car is coming off. So I'm going to move over a lane to avoid that car. I look in my blind spot. I do that, and I didn't see anybody. So I start to move over, and I checked the light that's supposed to be on the little side mirror here, telling you if there's someone next to you, and it wasn't going off. So I put on my blinker, and I'm starting to go into the next lane, and there's just a fucking car right there. And it hadn't warned me. There was no like beeping or anything like you heard when I went out of the lane this time. And there was just a car driving down the road, and I'm like, ah! So I swerve back into the lane. I slow down so I don't hit the other car too. I didn't hit anybody, but like it was almost gave me a heart attack. So theoretically, these features are supposed to keep you safe, but I don't know. I'm surprised that it did not work, and that might be a heavy design flaw. See, like that, I barely even touched the line there, and it said it beeped saying I was doing a lane departure. So I don't know why it does it then, but when it actually matters, it didn't beep or anything. So I don't know. That's something I would have to look into, I guess, if I were ever to get a car like this, just because, you know. But then again, safety features, I guess it's just security theater, if you've ever heard that term. If you haven't heard that term, it's basically where the manufacturers or like the designers or the people in charge say that you're completely safe, and they put a bunch of like gizmos or a bunch of people. Think like the TSA. If you're going on a plane, they're almost there to give you the illusion of being safe. Like obviously they're gonna put everything through the metal detectors, and they're gonna have you go through the metal detectors, and they're gonna make sure that you're not bringing anything in there that you shouldn't be. But really, it's just all theater. You know, you're obviously not going to get very far with a big gun or anything like that. Same thing with these cars. There's only so much that they can detect, even with the fancy safety features like this one has. But anyway, I've been rambling again. Is there anything else I really want to say? I don't know. It's been an interesting week for me. I'm just kind of going through my life right now. I've been working on videos pretty. Ooh, what the hell is the? What the? No fucking way. That's a fucking peacock. What the fuck? That's a fucking peacock. Holy shit. Holy shit, dude. I thought that was a cat. That's an honest-to-God peacock. I'm not going in after it, but holy shit. Well, on that thought, this has been Car Contemplations. I'll see you next week. Holy shit.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.